Guterman, I gotta tell you something. I have been so depressed and anxious today. And I just thought of something to keep me busy and do something. And I thought I would just do this. This is a little different than what I usually do. This is called Strat-O-Matic updating. It's simply me updating the last two games. I do them two at a time. And I'm just going to show you how I do it, even though I've shown people before how I do it. But I have nothing to do right now. And show you how I do it. Check these little boxes off to show that I'm putting it in. The first game, the Phillies beat the Expos. So I open up my 69 file here. And maybe I ought to. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for being here. I'll just enlarge this a little. This is going to be to 1820. I don't know if you heard, I have been so depressed and anxious today. And this is one of the worst episodes I've ever had. It's one of the longest. I even made a little coffee, but anyway, I'm going to put Philly over Montreal in this game here. Philadelphia beat Montreal. That'll be 64. And that's their third in a row. Actually, this changes. You see, even though Pittsburgh in the next game won, they're going to end up staying at 24. But I'll change it right now because I'm doing it right now. I haven't gotten to it. Here's Montreal. They lost 63-91. They've lost 6 in a row. Uh, 63-91, 63-88, 64-88, 63-91. Then on the other game, the Pirates beat the Mets. That makes them 88. And when the first place team has a change in wins or losses, you got to change everybody after that. Including Philadelphia and Montreal. So they're going to be 88 and 64. After being swept by the Mets, they won 88 and 64, and then the Mets 77 and 75. Now the Mets will lose a full game on this. And actually, that's going to put the Cubs ahead of them. But wait a minute, not yet. We have St. Louis is now 3 out. I'll double check the games behind while I'm at it. Chicago, with the Pittsburgh win, goes to 11. They're tied. You could see they are 1 ahead in the win column over the Mets, 1 behind in the loss column. And the Phillies go back to 24, where they should have been, and the Expos are 26. Now, that's going to be 88 and 64, and New York 77 and 75. We're just going to add these up now to make sure that the NL, both divisions add up. So that's 173 going from the wins here, 80, 160, 173, plus 140, 155. $127. $177. 140. 154. And 125. And that should come to 911. And it does, because there were 2 games. Now on the loss side, $131. 140, 151. 179. 126. 146. And 178. It's 911. That's perfect. Then what we do is we add up these numbers and the ones in the AL, and that should be our total. So it's 911, 911, 909, 909. So that's going to be 918, 20. That is our number. This is 1820 also. And that matches it. And that confirms it. While we're in it, we're going to throw in the wins and losses of the pitchers. This was Booster's first win, this game against the Phillies over Montreal. And for Moose, that was his 14th win. Now, just, I guess keeping busy is a key, because I'm doing a little better right now. Oh. Might as well just check the games behind here in the NL East, just because I do that at the end when all games are done. There's still 3 games left, but you know, that's 3. That's correct. 77. That's 11. Correct. That's 10. 12. Correct. 64. 74. 84. 24. Correct. 63. 73. 80. 25. And a 25. Wait a minute. Sometimes the games behind, I'm less concerned in a way, because they don't affect the wins and losses. 63, 73, 83, 25, 64, 74, 84, That's going to be 27. Yeah, that is correct. And that does that. So that is all correct. And that's where it stands with the Pirate win today. That takes care of that. Now, what I'm going to do, just because I have nothing else to do, is set up my next game. And every once in a while, I get a tinge of feeling that like I have nothing really to worry about. And sometimes you just get used to being depressed and anxious. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes habitual. In any case, we're going to go look here on Baseball Reference. I'm going to simply go down here and scroll down to September 20. See, it's very quick once you get the hang of it. And our next game after the Pittsburgh Met game, which we just had, is Atlanta at San Diego. And Atlanta leads the West by 6 1/2 games. So this is really getting to be, LA plays San Francisco, but, this is really getting pretty much set. And St. Louis is on very thin ice. If you look by the way, this is 140, 152. They have 10 games left, Pirates, and the Cards have 80, 140, 150, 10 games left. 10 games left, 3 games behind. That's tough. Okay? Here you have the same thing, 152, 10 games, and then 140, 50, 111 games. That's even tougher. That they have just about, clinched it. But we're going to set up the Atlanta game. This would be for tomorrow morning. And this is the second of a 3-game series. It's going to be Jarvis and Sisk pitching. There. This will be the second of a 3. Here. And again, This is Atlanta at San Diego. Look in the prior game to see what relievers pitched. Here it is. Boy, this was a crazy game. This went 8-7 in 12 innings. Oh God, they used a lot of pitchers. My God. Ridiculous. Atlanta won at 8-7. Just trying to keep busy. Now what I do is I put in who relieved in real world in this game as a guideline. And Wilhelm pitched again. We'll double check, if he didn't pitch on the 18th, he's eligible again. And Rieberger pitched. And again, the same thing applies. You can go 2 days in a row, but that's it. And now we will plug in our lineups here. It's going to be Jarvis for Atlanta and Sisk for San Diego. Let's put in the records. Atlanta at 92-60. If they get into with 10 games left, if they win 8 out of their last 10, that's 152. They have to win 8 out of 10 to get 100 wins. That's unlikely. 6.5 game lead. They've won 4 in a row. And San Diego, 51-101. 41 out. And they've lost, this is big, they've lost 12 in a row. Wow. That's an interesting fact, Kathy. I do like it. No, Bobby Shantz can't be alive. Oh, he's alive. Holy cow. He may be one of the oldest living players. let me look him up. My Lord, he's 98. He'll be 99 in September. That is quite a. And you're telling me he was, yeah, sure, he was managed. But he was a member of the 52. Well, I think he sold the team in 50. But if he played in like 50, there it is, 1949, 1950, he played for the A's. And Connie Mack was the manager. My Lord. And he was born in 1862. So you are right on with that. That is wild, Kathy. I don't know how you stumbled upon that, but he's still alive. I think there's someone who's older than him. Oldest living Major League Baseball player. Yeah, look at this. Oh. These are the current 10, and this is from Baseball Reference. It should be pretty reliable. Art Shalek. He didn't play too much. I saw an article written about him. He's the oldest, and he just passed 99 in April. Bill Greason, who played 1 year, also is 98, just a few weeks older than Chance. Chance is the third oldest living former player. The oldest living Hall of Famer is Willie Mays, who just passed, I think, 93. He passed Tommy Lasorda when he died in 2021. This must be the oldest players to have ever lived. This guy lived to 100. But I think there were some others who were over 100. No. I don't know what this is. Who have held the title. These are people who have held the title. Okay, this is in order from the beginning of when they held the title. Eddie Robinson. There he is. Eddie Robinson did hold the title at one point in 2021. And I thought it was kind of interesting. There was a time I remember when it was George Elder. George Elder. Okay. How do you like that for a name for a guy who was the oldest player? Bobby Dorr was the oldest for a while until he died in 2017. Bobby Dorr. But Art Shalakol, and he's still alive, and he is the oldest player. And I find it interesting that a lot of these oldest players played not that long ago. From my worldview, from my perspective, they played in the 50s, which says something about, I'm aging. So that's quite a fascinating thing. Kathy, thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to get back to this Jarvis setting up this game. There's Jarvis. He has 13 wins. This is part of the reason why, I don't know how many he had in real world, but this is part of the reason why the Braves are doing so well. They get people, someone like Jarvis, who's like a third or fourth pitcher, to be winning so many games. Then Sisk has 2 wins. And then we just throw these people in here. Here we have Mian, Gonzalez, Aaron. This is actually an exercise for my depression and anxiety, folks. Believe it or not, the fact that I just was I just didn't know what to do. I figured do something. Cardi, Cepeda, Boyer, Didier, Garrido, and Pat Jarvis. Then I have my own obsessive way of putting this in. I put the pitcher in, then the catcher, then the outfielders, center, right and left, and then the infielders, second base, first base, third base, and shortstop. And here's Arcia. Can you believe this guy keeps playing Arcia? Pena, Ollie Brown, Ferrara, Colbert, Kathy asks, does anybody like when they do those infield interviews with players during the game? I kind of do, Kathy. I kind of like it. Like when they talk to the manager or sometimes a player while the game's going on. They did it a lot. They do it a lot. I could be wrong. I thought spring training, but I like it. Do you like it? Spezio, Gaston. It's pretty accommodating of the players and managers. Canizero and Sisk. Oh, you don't like it? You think it's distracting? And this is the second to last game of this date. The final game will be, again, LA at San Francisco. You could bet if, I gotta tell you, if Atlanta wins this game, you could pretty much call it a season. I think it's over now. What don't you like about it, Kathy? Not that I'm questioning your opinion, just curious. What about it do you not like? All that's left to do for this is to put in the field, set up the lineups and put in the fielding ratings. I can do that in the morning. Oh. 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 It's distracting, yeah. I understand. And that's about it, folks. That's all I really have to offer. I'd be glad to just have this here if anybody wants to chat. Here are the standings. Looks like the Phillies have pulled 2 games ahead of the Expos. Houston 6 games over 500, 2 games ahead of Cincinnati. They were 581 and 81, 500 in the real world. San Diego is the first team to lose 100 games. Dodgers are a disappointment, even though they have slowly approached the 500 mark. This is pretty much as expected. The only thing is that the Yankees have really underperformed. And Cleveland has done even worse than they did in real world. They came in last. I don't know what their record was, but they were nowhere near 100 losses, I don't believe. And they are in danger of losing 100 games. if they win 6 out of their last 10 games, which is unlikely. They will lose 100. Twins are doing a lot better than they did in real world. Even though they did great in real world, I don't think they were near 100 game wins. I think I'd have to look, but I think, first of all, Seattle is doing better than KC. KC, I think, came in 4th, and Chicago in 5th. That's in real world. You could look it up. One of the fears I have here is that when I finish all the games, that they don't even out, that every team doesn't have played 162 games. Now, it's possible sometimes when you have a makeup game from a rainout, at the end of the season they don't play it, and that's why sometimes you'll see a team with 161 games, even 160 games. But it would be an awful tragedy if the teams ended up like one team a game behind and it was not accurate, meaning say the Cards played 163 games or 161 and it's over. There's no way for me to fix it. But all I can do is hope for the best. It's not easy doing a full year. McCovey leads the NL with 51 home runs. Aaron has 35. He hit, I think, 44 in real world. I think Bonds only hit 30 and he has 39. Tolan has had 30. He's been there though for a while. So that's about it. It's very kind of you to join me here for whatever this was. And I'll be doing this game tomorrow morning, okay, everybody? You all take good care. Stay well. And I'll catch you all next time, okay?